We're back with one more exciting comic from Vault Comics, Barbaric the Black Knight One-Shot, written by Michael Moresi and brought to brutal, bloody life by Fabi Marquez and Guilherme Balbi. You thought the chaos ended with Queen of Swords? Huh, think again, because our favorite band of morally confused heroes, Deadheart, Sarah, and Ka, are back. And this time, they're swinging straight into the jaws of darkness. Their mission? Take down the Wicked Witch Dachshund once and for all. Simple, right? But before we start the video, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, because your one subscription motivates us to make more amazing videos. Let's begin. Our comic opens with a haunting reflection. A woman's voice echoes through the shadows. At long last, we were face to face with our enemy. And there he stands, towering, regal, dangerous, Molish, the elven warlord king. Cloaked in stormlight, draped in the bones of the fallen. Every step he takes whispers death and destiny. She remembers what it took to get here. The battles, the scars, the sacrifices. After everything we'd gone through to get to, the scene cuts. A quiet room filled with soldiers and survivors. Their faces worn but alive. A chandelier swings overhead, and for a moment, peace. Violence can be a funny thing, she says. She wasn't always like this. Truth be told, I used to love it. She admits that once, violence was her craft, her comfort. In another life, she forged chaos the way a blacksmith forges blades. But that was default, before loss, before pain taught her the other side of the sword. Now, things change. Because when you're not the one swinging, when you're the one bleeding, we see it. A brutal strike, a sword slicing deep. You get on the receiving end of a sword, and it's not so funny anymore. Our story bursts back in emotion. Chaos, steel, and fury fill in every panel. Molish's men kept coming, she roars. Thieves, murderers, mercenaries. A sea of killers crashing against our heroes like a tide of blood and steel. But they didn't run. Oh no. And we took them on, slicing and slashing our way through each one of these deplorable assholes. Blades fly, screams echo, and in the midst of the madness, that familiar voice bellows. Destruction, chaos, let me feast. It's the axe, blood-hungry, cackling, living for the slaughter. The battlefield is a blur. Limbs flying, armor cracking, until only one remains. Molish, the elven warlord king, standing amidst the corpses of his own men, his armor glittering with the blood of the fallen. Later, over drinks and exhaustion, she laughs. I admit what happened to Molish was damn funny. You'd have to be dead to not at least snicker. But in that moment, on that field, it was anything but funny, because it was him with them. And there he stood, gripping his golden battle axe. A weapon so legendary, it was said to be the most prized heirloom of the Ritweef tribe, the very thing they came to collect. Molish's eyes burned with rage. He charged forward, every step shaking the ground, every breath dripping with murder. He was ready to end them all. And then she says softly, but then. And here's the twist, folks. Our mighty, terrifying, nasty elven king, the one who bathed in the blood of his enemies, slips. Yup, he slips. On the blood of his own men. He flails, he tumbles, his glorious golden weapon flying through the air like some kind of divine joke. And the sacred object that had caused all this trouble, she says with a grin, was also his undoing. Ironic, right? And just like that, the nightmare ends. Molish the warlord, flat on his back. His legendary axe, ours. Molish's purse was made lighter, ours heavier. And it's a round on me. The tavern erupts in cheers. Yeah! Ale spills, mugs clash, laughter echoes like victory drums. But under that laughter, there's something heavier. Something Ka can't quite shake. Molish's violence finally caught up with him, she says quietly. He'd raided, pillaged, slaughtered, all to claim that axe. And then they came along, raided and pillaged to take it back. And after all that, it fucking landed on him. Slipped on blood, lost his grip, died by his own weapon. She looks up, eyes distant, and wonders aloud. Violent deeds destined to catch up with us? Is that the way the world works? And from the corner, someone shouts, "Get that thing away from me! Get it away!" And just like that, our tale crashes back to the present. The calm of the tavern replaced by chaos, echoing through the streets. People shouting, pigeons scattering, and one voice rings out. "You're a lunatic! You're crazy!" The camera pans through the dusty evening light. A crowd gathers outside a stone building, confusion brewing like a storm. From the steps, our hero appears, cloak trailing, eyes sharp. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What the hell is going on out here? And before anyone can answer, a desperate villager rushes forward. "Thank the gods! You gotta help me! It's him, that kid. The tension crackles in the air. The kind of uneasy silence right before things go terribly wrong. The boy turns, defiant, eyes wild, breath heavy, but his voice steady. He's crazy. I tried telling you, buddy. I'm not the one who's crazy. And then we see it. He lifts his hand, and clutched tightly in his grip is something that should not exist. A small, chained object. A spiked ball with a twisted, grinning face. Its hollow eyes glowing faint. He's the one who's crazy. The boy finishes as the cursed relic stares back. The crowd recoils. The air itself seems to shiver, and the voice, cold, mocking, murmurs through the silence. No, I'm not. I keep telling you to leave this poor child alone. The night air is cold. The streets now empty, save for one kid and his talking weapon. The boy glares up defiant, clutching that spiked head like it's his only friend. You told me he's a chicken thief and should be held responsible for what he did, he shouts, almost as if arguing with himself. The voice answers, smooth, cruel, echoing from the grinning face. By the authorities, he should have a fair trial and maybe be fined, not bludgeoned by a lunatic child. The boy scoffs. You're never any fun. And that's when it hits them. The thing talks. Our warrior steps closer, brow furrowed. Kid, does that weapon talk? The boy shrugs, smirking. Maybe, maybe not. What's it to you? You're a real charmer, huh? She snaps back. How about I take your little toy and shove it up your... Before she can finish, the weapon interrupts. Desperate, almost pleading. Can someone please just throw me in a river? The woman squints, muttering, he talks, Deadheart. I can hear him. He doesn't sound like Axe, though. He's a lot whinier. The head glares up, voice trembling with bitter exhaustion. I just want peace. Is that too much to ask? I've had enough of being handled by one psycho after another. All this bloodlust, it's too much. The sarcasm in her voice drips like poison. You say that now, but somewhere else, in the shadows, a figure watches, eyes glowing blue. Words cut into the cold air like a curse, but lusting for blood is your natural way. The air thickens with blue fire, shadows stretching like claws, as something foul steps from the darkness. A hulking figure, cloaked and snarling, drags behind him a pack of twisted goblins, their eyes glowing like sickly moons. His voice rumbles through the stone courtyard. You've simply forgotten who you are, but your true master will help you remember. The flames hiss, the goblins snarl. And Deadheart, she just cracks her knuckles. All right, here we go again. She rolls her eyes, the kind of tone that says she's been through this song and dance one too many times. I guess this is the part where I say, yeah, and who are you? And you say, the hooded brute interrupts, bellowing. I say, I already know who you are. The fire flares brighter, and then the name drops like a blade. But aren't you supposed to be in hell, Deadheart? Deadheart smirks, her eyes glinting in the red light. I was, but I got bored and came back. She steps forward, calm as death itself. Now don't make me ask who you are again. And from the shadows, the hooded one growls. You don't have to worry yourself with that. And just like that, the talking's over. The hooded brute steps forward, his goblin crew snarling behind him, ready to tear flesh from bone. But Deadheart, she just smirks. You and 3 orcs? Yeah, not fucking like. The goblins hiss, blades raised, and their master bellows. Not when we send you back to where you came from. But Deadheart's already in motion. Time to die, motherfuckers. And then, carnage. Steel flashes. Blood arcs through the air like red lightning. One goblin's jaw flies off. Another gets split clean in 2. The last doesn't even get a scream out before Deadheart's blade paints the wall behind. Oh gods, the look on your dead face. She howls, laughing madly. The big one staggers back, his minions now puddles of regret. He growls, rage boiling behind his eyes. Now, as for you, young man, he snarls toward the boy clutching the cursed weapon. You have something I require. But before he can finish, a flash of steel, a chain snaps forward, and the scream tears through the night, echoing across blood-soaked stone. The creature snarls, clutching his wounded face, fury twisting into something even uglier. He growls, voice dripping with venom. Oh, that's right, I forgot about you. But you're rather forgettable, aren't you? His eyes lock onto her. The smaller figure circling in the shadows, the little witch. But this witch ain't hiding. She leaps into the air, chains flashing like golden light. Yeah? Tell me how little I am when I got my chains wrapped around your. But before she can finish, she jerks free, smirking through the pain. You were saying? The witch grits her teeth, fury burning through her eyes as she swings the chain again. He roars, no, you can't, it's not possible. And she snaps back, voice sharp as steel. Oh, a great many things are possible, little witch. The red light flares, her power swirling like fire around her feet. But then, just as she gains the upper hand, a shadow swoops behind her. A hand grabs her throat. The chain goes taut. You just need to have the right people on your side. The words hiss from the hooded brute's lips as he yanks her close, grinning wide. And from behind clenched teeth, she manages one warning. Low, dangerous, defiant. I warned you, sister. The fight erupts into full-blown madness. Magic crackling, steel clashing, and blood spraying across the ancient stone. From above, a figure descends, floating, regal, deadly calm. Her voice drips like ice. Stay out of my way. You survived meddling once. You will not be so lucky a second. But before she can finish, hey, back off. A whip cracks through the air. A blur of motion, and there she is. Deadheart's ally, charging in mid-swing, cloak flying behind. Girl goes to get one drink, she shouts. And then wham! Grah! The monster roars, his body jerking backward in agony as blood sprays across the crimson backdrop. And look what happens, she finishes, panting. Hey, you okay? What the hell is? But before anyone can answer, the elf gasps. Clutching her arm, we have to go, the warrior protests. Okay, but I think we might want to finish what you two started. No, her voice cuts like a blade. No argument, no hesitation. Blood spatters the walls as the creature lunges again, but he never reaches them. Deadheart's sword arcs in a silver flash, slink, and his body hits the ground in two different places. We have to go, she screams again, dragging her wounded ally away through the mist. And somewhere in the chaos behind them, a faint wet chuckle echoes through the blood and smoke. Yuck! The world explodes back into chaos. Fire, magic, and blood lighting up the night. Deadheart's crew barely holds their ground as the monstrous figure and his dark mistress close in. We have to get out of here. I'll explain later, Deadheart yells, pulling her allies by the arm. But one of them protests. But Deadheart, wait! Too late. The enemy roars. Grab that flail. The cursed weapon glints in the firelight, and the moment it's mentioned, everyone freezes. Hey, oh gods! What now? To the flames! Deadheart snarls, eyes wide. It's Doxin! She found us! Or we found her. Either way, she's trying to dig back into my head. Her voice breaks as she turns to the others. We have to get out of here, now! And from behind the fire, the enemy's voice cuts through the roaring flames. A promise and a curse. You can run, little witch. He steps forward, teeth bared, eyes glowing like molten coals. But you can't run forever. The flames consume the battlefield as our heroes vanish into the smoke. The cursed flail's laughter echoing faintly in the chaos. The flames of battle fade into the soft glow of twilight. The brute finally breathes again, bruised, burned, and barely standing, staring into the flickering light of a magic portal behind. The cursed weapon dangles from Deadheart's hand, its jagged grin catching the firelight. It speaks first, voice sharp and impatient. You have no idea who you are? Deadheart sighs. Nope. Where you come from? How you got to be a talking weapon? Now that, the flail hums softly, almost thoughtful, is an interesting question. But no. I don't know why I'm a talking weapon. Sarah crosses her arms, staring at the thing like it's a problem she'd rather set on fire. Hey, Sarah, Deadheart starts, but she cuts her off. You okay? One of them asks gently. She exhales, exhausted. Yeah, I'm fine. Just takes a lot of energy to make portals on the fly like that. And her eyes drop to the dirt, voice softening. I guess I'm a little shaken up seeing Doxin. I knew she'd be back. Her fingers tremble slightly, but I guess I hoped it wouldn't be so soon. The wind rustles the trees as the truth sinks in. She wants that flail, Sarah says, glancing at the weapon. I don't know why, but that doesn't even matter. If my sisters are after it, that means it's powerful and dangerous, which is why we can't let her anywhere near it. The cursed flail's eyes narrow, voice now low and grim. We have to destroy it. And for the first time, that eerie grin fades. The forest hums softly, the glow of dying fire flickering against the trees. Our heroes stand over the flail, that strange talking weapon, caught between fear and fascination. Okay, hold on, Ka says, raising a hand. We can't just kill this, whatever it is. What's its name? The flail dangles nervously, voice trembles. It's Flail, please don't hurt me. And why can Ka and I hear it talk? Sarah asks, suspicion in her voice. Deadheart shrugs. I put a spell over you. Actually, I tried a few. Speak with animals didn't work. Neither did witch's ear. But commune with the dead seemed to do the trick. Lucky us, Ka mutters, deadpan. Sarah folds her arms, still watching the flail swing from Deadheart's hand. Anyway, the point is, we can't just kill Flail. He's a living thing, probably. Deadheart sighs, rubbing her temples. Plus, Doxin isn't going anywhere. She's our enemy. Running and hiding only delays the inevitable. But if we can figure out what Flail does, maybe we can use it against her. That can finally give us the upper hand. Ka steps closer, hand on Sarah's shoulder. We've got your back, Sarah. If this thing gives us a chance to end you sister for good, we've got to take it. Sarah looks up, well, there's a way to find out more about Flail. It's a long shot, but we've got to go and see a witch. Wait, aren't you a witch? Deadheart teases. Sarah smirks. Well, yeah, but we need to see a different witch, a seer. Her smile fades, voice dipping into something, especially if she senses who I'm related to. And just like that, the forest shivers. A voice, distant, hateful, cuts through the calm. You dare! Come to my sanctuary, you of tainted blood. The journey takes him deep into sacred ground. A temple bathed in eerie light, every wall pulsing with quiet power. And at its center, the seer, a towering figure draped in shadow and silver flame. Eyes glowing like twin stars of judgment. Her voice cuts through the air, sharp and venomous. You, your sister, perversions made flesh. Everything you touch turns to rot. Every thought in your mind is an offense. I will not help you. I will burn before I help you. Sarah steps forward, trembling, but unbroken. Seer, please. The seer's energy flares, her very presence shaking the ground beneath them. But Sarah doesn't back down. Look at me. Look into me. You will see. I want to destroy my sister more than anything in the world. She was the one who twisted my thoughts, tainted my actions. It was all her. Her voice cracks on that last word. Desperation bleeding into conviction. The seer's eyes dim, considering. Your sincerity's real, girl. You at least believe what you say. But belief and truth are often two very different things. The silence stretches, and then at last the seer nods. Very well, but if you attempt to deceive me, I will know. The seer's hand rises, and a sphere of light ignites in a palm. Well then, yes, you indeed were corrupt. The rancid scent of your sister remains. But you are true. A thin smile creeps across her ancient face. Your deepest desire is to destroy her. Ka steps forward, holding up the cursed weapon. Show her. His name is Flail. The weapon grins wide, impossibly cheerful in the dark chamber. Hello, Ka continues, half nervous, half annoyed. We don't know what he is, or where he comes from, but... The Flail interrupts, smug as ever. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm a Flail. The moment the seer's eyes land on the Flail, everything changes. Her serene face twists into pure terror. No! Her shriek cuts through the chamber like shattered glass. Away! Get it away! I cannot look upon that abomination. The others stumble back. Startled, Ka holds up the weapon defensively. Hey, what did I... Wait, it's dark in here. The seer recoils, trembling, as Sarah rushes to her side. Okay, I'm putting it away. But the seer collapses to her knees, clutching her head, voice trembling like a storm barely contained. Get rid of it! Get it away! Sarah leans in, desperate. Seer, you know what that thing is. You must tell us. The seer's voice cracks. We will. But we must know, how do we destroy it? What do we do? Her hands shake, eyes wild. Destroy it? If only it was so easy. That weapon, it is eternal. The seer's words echo through the hall. The air thick with dread. It's a relic of a long-forgotten time. It's a power, a terrible power that the world had buried. You must leave. I cannot bear its presence. Deadheart steps forward, voice low. Then what can we do? The seer looks up, a face pale, streaked with tears, eyes glowing with painful truth. There's one thing you can do. One thing and one thing only. The room falls silent. The air itself seems to stop. You must kill the one who's meant to hold that weapon. Her final words drop like thunder. You must kill the Black Knight. Night settles over the forest. The chaos and bloodshed now distant echoes. The crackling fire paints everyone in orange and shadow. For a moment, there's peace. But under the quiet, that same old question lingers. More violence? The words hang in the air, bitter as smoke. It's a cycle that goes on and on until what? The barbarian stares into the flames, eyes distant. I know exactly what, he mutters. There's no sense hiding. His voice drops low. It goes on until it catches up with... Then, a grin smile until it catches up with all of us. The fire crackles louder, like it knows the truth too. Sarah steps into the glow, water skin in hand. I just came out to get some water. I didn't know you were still awake. Are you, She trails off, unsure how to finish the thought. He glances up. Whoa, hey. She sits beside it, her face soft but concerned. Are you okay? You haven't been your happy-go-lucky barbarian self lately. She smirks gently. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess you're not the type who likes opening up about feelings. But he cuts her off quietly. Sit. Yeah, sure. Okay. The barbarian's gaze drifts back into the fire. The flames flicker, showing glimpses of his past. Back when I was younger, before I got killed, obviously. He says, half joking, half bitter. I was a mercenary. My clan used to hire us out to anyone who could pay. People in need, tribes, armies, whoever had the coin. He stares into the fire, and his voice hardens. They didn't care who it was. The barbarian's eyes narrow. The fire flickers red across his face. His voice grows colder, heavier, which is how my services got sold to a man named Count Desik. The name hangs in the air like a curse. A shift in the flames. And suddenly, the campfire's glow turns blood red. Desik was a coward. We knew it. His voice echoes through the crackle of imagined battle. But we didn't know the true depths of his cowardice. Not in the beginning, at least. The sound of hoofbeats thunders through the memory. A nobleman, a skeletal horse rides through a storm of fire and steel, barking orders, letting others bleed for his pride. He was engaged in a bloody land war with a neighboring tribe. These were backward people, both lots. They more or less lived between conflicts. And here they were again. The panel erupts into carnage, men clashing in mud and blood, spears shattering, war cries mixing with screams. No heroes, no villains, just bodies feeding the dirt, fighting on a worthless hill in a worthless realm, entrenched in nothing but blood, mud, and shit. The barbarian's voice breaks into a growl, his hand tightening on his blade, as if the memory still stains it. The fire pops, and for just a heartbeat, you can almost hear that ancient battlefield again. Cattle field burns. A storm of red and screams. The barbarian's voice cuts through the chaos like steel against bone. We fought and we fought. Days and nights on end. Bodies fall. Steel clashes. Blood steams against the dirt. The ground itself trembles beneath the weight of endless death. We killed and we killed. I don't even know how many. However many it takes to bring peace. Guess. His voice is hollow now. No pride, no fury, just exhaustion. The kind that seeps into the soul and never leaves. And then, the fire dims. Eventually, there was no one left to kill on the other side. A long pause. So the war was over, but the silence doesn't last. Never does. Count Desik rises from the ashes. Not a hero, not a savior. A man too drunk on victory to see the blood still dripping from his throne. Desik promised a new start for all people. He promised prosperity and equality. The barbarian's tone twists with disgust, the truth rotting in every word. He just had one final act of war to carry out. The fire flashes in his eyes. We see Desik's face under a golden helm, lips curling into a cruel grin. He had to kill those he felt threatened by. And for the first time, you realize that's where the barbarian's story truly begins. Not in glory, not in victory, but in betrayal. And then, the barbarian's voice drops low. That final betrayal he's been circling around finally spills out. And that meant me. The memory flares to life. A battlefield drowning in red. Count Desik's soldiers closing in. And the barbarian, once their champion, standing alone, sword raised against his own comrades. I should have known better, he says quietly. But I was young. The blade flashes. A burst of crimson. The barbarian falls to his knees. Blood spilling down his chest. Disbelief carved across his face. Which also meant I was hard to kill. Fire crackles as the scene shifts. My people took me back home. They'd been paid and the war was over. There was nothing to gain in starting a conflict with people so beneath us. His voice drips with irony, the weight of what was lost. Desik's reign was both short and stupid. He was overthrown, and then the land war started right back up again. Sarah breaks the silence. I'm sorry that happened to you. The barbarian shakes his head. No need to be sorry. It's how the world works. I guess the difference is I'd never been killed before. Now I have, and I'm starting to see things differently. He looks into the fire, the glow dancing over old scars. I wasn't angry with Desik. I'm not even that angry now. He was just doing what he needed to do to survive. A pause. The fire pops like a heartbeat, but it caught up with him. He looks up, his eyes burning in the reflection of the flames. It catches up with all of us. The sun sets behind the crimson mountains. The world bathed in a warm, eerie glow. The chaos, for now, feels far away. In its place, quiet. A monastery, still, ancient, and far too peaceful for what's to come. A voice cuts through the silence. Sir? Excuse me, sir? A lone traveler walks through the courtyard, eyes searching the stone arches. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm lost. I was wondering if you could provide me with some directions. An old man turned slowly from beneath the shade of a dying tree, his cloak pale and heavy. His eyes, though clouded, seemed to carry something deeper, something ancient. Directions? He repeats softly. Oh, it's been quite some time since I've left this place. The air inside the monastery courtyard grows heavy, too still. Too quiet. The old man's confusion lingers in the air, but behind the traveler's calm smile, there's something else. She steps closer, her tone sharpening like a blade, and I needed to be sure before I did this. Wham! Her fist slams across his jaw. the sound echoing through the stone halls like a gunshot. The old man crumples to the ground, blood trailing from his lip, his body limp against the cold floor. The woman tilts her head, studying it. Really? That's interesting. Were you born here? The man frowns, searching for an answer that's no longer there. I don't think so. The woman steps closer, her tone careful now. Would you happen to know if your name is Khalith? The man blinks, confusion flickering like a candle in the dark. Well, you see, I'm an old man. My memory is not what it once was. I don't believe this is where I come from, but I also don't know where my place of birth is. I am here, and I am myself. That's really all I think I know. The traveler nods slowly. Interesting. Are you alone here? She asks. The man hesitates, eyes narrowing. Why do you ask? She smiles faintly, though there's something sharp beneath it. Well, like you said, you're an old man. The air inside the monastery courtyard grows heavy, too still, too quiet. The old man's confusion lingers in the air, but behind the traveler's calm smile, there's something else. She steps closer, her tone sharpening like a blade, and I needed to be sure before I did this. Wham! Her fist slams across his jaw, the sound echoing through the stone halls like a gunshot. The old man crumples to the ground, blood trailing from his lip, his body limp against the cold floor. The others rush in, Deadheart leading the charge. Did you really have to punch him? She asks, glaring. The traveler shrugs, shaking out a hand. If he's who the seer says he is, yeah, I did. Sarah crosses her arms. So, what now? Deadheart glances down at the unconscious man, the one the seer called the Black Knight. We tie him up, we make sure he's the Black Knight. And if he is, the camera pans up, the glow of firelight flickering through the windows. The Grook silhouettes move inside, preparing for what comes next. We do what needs to be done. Outside, the monastery stands silent against the dying sun. But inside, fate has just woken up, and its first move was a punch to the face. The old man stirs, his groan echoing in the dimly lit hall. His head throbs, his arms bound tight. What? Where? The smell of burning oil fills the air. And standing before him, Deadheart and her crew, all shadows and firelight. Please, I'm just an old man, he stammers. There's nothing I can tell you. My mind, there's something wrong. Deadheart crosses her arms, eyes like steel. Don't worry, you don't have to tell us a thing. She leans in closer, her tone drop into a whisper. You'll show us. Just then, a voice cuts through the tension, raspy, annoyed, and unmistakably alive. Gasp. Finally, I gasped. Almost gasped, died in there. The flail dangles from Sarah's hand, its face twisted in mock indignation. Flail, Deadheart mutters, unimpressed. The old man's eyes widen in disbelief. Oh, great. The universe didn't think it was bad enough for me to bludgeon chicken thieves. Now I have to kill an old man. The flail immediately pipes up. Flail! Sarah sighs, pinching her nose. Do you know this man? Nope. The barbarian stares between them, deadpan. Never seen this guy before in my life. He exhales, dragging a hand down his face. Are we done here? Can I go a single day without killing someone? The flail's laughter fills the room, echoing off the stone walls. The old man's expression changes, confusion melting into something sharper, colder, and for the first time, his eyes gleam with recognition. The room tightens with tension. No one's breathing easy yet. Deadheart steps forward, voice firm. No, we're not done. The flail lets out a groan, his jagged little teeth clacking in annoyance. Oh, come on! The barbarian lifts the talking weapon, its spiked head glinting in the firelight. He crouches before the old man, eyes sharp. You're gonna take a closer look. The old man squints, trying to keep his voice calm. And what good will that do? I can see him perfectly from... And then, it happens. The flail's eyes blaze open, burning red, molten with rage. Its voice roars like a storm. What are you doing? You let a bunch of women tie you up, you weakling. Deadheart's group freezes. Even the barbarian's knuckles go white on the weapon's. The flail's glow deepens, red veins of fury crawling across its skull. Kill him! Kill them all! The old man's breath stutters. His body trembles. Something ancient stirs behind his wide, terrified eyes. I have no idea what's happening. Please, I'm just a simple man who... Deadheart raises a brow. What was... I'm scared. The barbarian exhales, lowering the flail. Well, I'd say that settles that. But Sarah, ever the cautious one, shakes her head slowly. Her voice cuts through the uneasy silence. It's not settled yet. The glow fades, but not completely. Deep inside the flail's hollow eyes, the fire still flickers, and if you listen close, you can almost hear it whispering. The old man trembles, fear dripping from every word. Please, just leave. Act like this never happened. But Sarah steps forward, her blades gleaming in the firelight. Her voice is steady, cold. I'm afraid that's not possible. She raises her weapon high, and for a heartbeat, the old man looks directly into her eyes and smiles. Killing an old man. His voice deepens, cracking into something monstrous. The ground quakes beneath their feet. Blue light spilling from his eyes and mouth. And I thought you were the good guys. The doors burst open. A wave of creatures charging in behind him. Orcs, goblins, twisted things crawling out of shadow. And at their head, that same monstrous. Deadheart shouts, "Ka, kill him! Kill him now! Yeah, kill him! Or I'll kill him!" So tired of everyone complaining about killing. The barbarian's grip tightens on her sword, her rage matching the flickering firelight. But the old man straightens up, his frail form gone, replaced by something darker. Blue energy spills from his skull like smoke from hell itself. His grin cuts wider than human. "Sorry, barbarian." He lifts his hands, and the world seems to shudder. "I can't let you do that." The heroes stand frozen, faces lit by that impossible blue glow. The Black Knight has finally awakened, and mercy just left the room. And just like that, the world erupts in light. A blinding blue explosion tears through the hall, the shockwave hurling everyone backward. Boom! The sound roars like thunder made of nightmares. Ka hits the ground hard. Sarah barely rolls out of the blast radius. The old man, no, the thing inside him, stands untouched in the epicenter, glowing like a storm given shape. Sarah snarls, teeth bared. "No, goddamn it, I!" He lunges forward, blade sparking, but another blast cracks the air. Wham! Blue lightning splits the floor in half. She's thrown backward, her scream drowned in the chaos. The old man laughs, a low, broken sound. He stumbles toward the towering shape of Deadheart, eyes wide with false gratitude. "Good sir, thank you, oh thank you. I owe you my deepest grat." But a dark voice cuts him off, cold, guttural, and filled with venom. "You do not." From the shadows, the monstrous figure of Deadheart's corrupted form looms closer. The air hums with power. The goblin sneering behind him. "We have something far worse in store for you." And as the smoke clears, one truth becomes crystal clear. The old man wasn't a victim. He was a fuse. And the bomb? It's only just started ticking. The smoke clears, and silence takes its place. Flames die, the echoes fade, but inside something darker stirs. I lied to Sarah. The voice in our head confesses quietly, like a ghost whispering over ash. When someone tries to kill you, you don't just walk away. And we see her, bruised, burned, but alive, crawling out from the dirt like vengeance made flesh. The rain hisses as it hits her skin. Blood runs down her arms. Not all of it hers. You cannot just walk away. She pushes herself upright, eyes burning with something that's not forgiveness. I do believe Desik was doing what he felt he had to do. In his weakened state, our band of mercenaries could have overthrown him easily. She clenches her fist. He was eliminating a threat. A bitter smile twists her lips, but he failed. The image shifts. Desik in a haze of indulgence, surrounded by servants and pleasure, blind to the blood price already hunting him. And his failure gave birth to something worse than he could have imagined. The voice echoes now, merging with the crackling fire. Violence begets violence. Desik was doing what he had to do. Her eyes lift toward the burning window, light slicing across her face. And so was I, 'cause when death comes for you, sometimes you don't fight to live, you fight to return the favor. Night falls in silence, but not peace. Desik lies sprawled among the spoils of his power. Golden light from the fire flickers over him, and the women at his side. A scene of comfort, of sin, of arrogance. He sleeps soundly, because men like him always do. But in the darkness beyond the flame, something moves. A shadow with a heartbeat. A ghost with unfinished business. And as Desik's chest rises one last time, a familiar voice whispers through the night. This is the way the world works. She doesn't shout. She doesn't tremble. The blade finds his throat like it was meant to be there. One clean motion, a short gasp, and then rent silence. Blood on her hands, fire in her eyes. No regret, only understand. We're born, we'll live, and we die. But sometimes, some of us come back just to make sure the world remembers why. And this story doesn't end with peace. It ends violently. Because violence in this world isn't just action, it's a language. When everyone speaks fluently, she stares at the weapon, that cursed flail, and a twisted smile stretches across her face. "It's almost hard to believe the power this weapon has," she whispers, like she's talking to a god. Across from her, the shadow looms larger. darker. The hooded figure's voice is deep, cruelly calm, and it doesn't even know it. Tragic. Flail, the talking weapon, trembles in fear. Maybe it's the wrong flail. There's lots of flails out there, right? Possible mix-up? The shadow cuts him off. Hush. Chains rattle. The room grows colder. Howler hums in the air like static before a storm. I'm giving you a gift, the hooded one says. The gift of fulfilling your purpose. He lifts the flail high. It glides with impossible energy. So few get that opportunity. Ka steps forward, fire in her eyes. The only gift you're giving him is servitude. Her voice cuts through the dark like a blade. You want him for a purpose, but that purpose is yours. That's okay, though. A gift's a gift. She steps closer. Eyes narrow, jaw set. Believe it or not, you've given me one too. The figure tilts his head. Is that so? And what is that? Ka's grin sharpens. You reminded me of the world's true nature. The tension hangs. Chains sway. Shadows flicker. Gabar, she whispers. Yes, my love. And just like that, the quiet breaks. The air rips apart with a battle cry that can wake the gods themselves. The shadow figure steps forward, eyes burning. Chain whipping fire through the air. Across from him, Ka tightens her grip. Muscles coiling like a storm about to strike. Would you like to die now? He growls, his voice echoing like thunder in a tomb. Ka grins, that fearless, bloodthirsty grin we've come to know and love. Let's fucking go! And boom, the world erupts. Walls crack, sparks explode, blades flash. Elves, orcs, monsters, all crashing together in a chaos so pure it's almost art. Ka swings her sword, slicing through bodies like she's cutting through fate itself. Her allies dive in, cloaks flying, eyes blazing, and somewhere in the chaos, Flail's maniacal laughter rings out. This isn't a fight, it's a storm given form. Every blow is payback, every scream is purpose, and in that instant, every one of them knows this isn't about winning, it's about ending. The fire spreads, the dead fall, and the battle that started with vengeance just became legend. The battlefield is chaos. Fire, blood, and rage mixing into one violent blur. Ka's voice cuts through it all. Ka, go! Kill the old man! Without hesitation, she charges, her blade flashing, her fury unstoppable, and the first body drops. I'm on it! She roars, spinning into another strike. The sound of steel through flesh echoes like thunder in a cathedral. But amid the slaughter, the real battle begins, the one burning inside Sarah. She locks eyes with the hooded figure, that towering monster of shadow. Her voice cracks, desperate but defiant. Where is my sister? Tell me where she is. The figure grins, cruel, knowing. I can tell you this, you are exactly as your sister said, flawed, weak. Each word is poison, slicing deeper than any blade. He steps closer, the flail glowing with unholy fire, and always losing sight of the bigger picture. Sarah's magic ignites, a blinding light in her palm. Fury given form. Hello, Sarah. A voice hisses from the void. You're not through with me yet. Her breath catches. Her hands tremble, but her eyes stay locked. Across the room, Ka screams. Rah! Her blade raised high. Death inches away from the old man's heart, and a hooded figure's voice shatters the moment. No, everything stops. The air freezes, and the storm is about to break again. The air explodes with violence, magic, metal, and madness all colliding at once. The hooded brute lunges forward, his chain whirling like a thunderstorm, and poor Flail, he's caught mid-swing, screaming his metal lungs out. Hey, no, I don't want to! But it's too late. The cursed weapon slams into the old man's chest, chains wrapping around him like serpents of flame. Oof! And just like that, the tides turn. Ka freezes for half a second, her breath heavy, her mind racing. Shit. She grips her blade tighter, fury taken over. Her eyes lock onto the hulking shadow. Now you're all gonna die. Her voice isn't a threat anymore. It's a promise. She leaps, fangs bared, knife raised, hissing through her teeth as the darkness swells around. The world trembles. The blue light rises, cold, endless, ancient. Ka's voice fades. Battle noise disappears, and in the silence that follows, voice older than time whispers, long has the world suffered. The question now, is it about to end that suffering or begin it again? Darkness, pure suffocating darkness, and from within it, a voice, ancient, cold, divine, but the suffering will soon find its end. A figure steps forward, flames swirling around him like chains of hellfire. His eyes blaze like dying suns. His armor glows with the heat of damnation. You will be cleansed. The ground trembles, the air burns, and hanging from his hand, the cursed weapon Flail. Now alive, now laughing. Flail, grinning, Fuck yeah, you will. The Black Knight has returned. The silence shatters into screams. Sarah's eyes widen. Rage, fear, desperation, all at once. Ka clenches her weapon, her muscles shaking under the red light. The flames reflect in their eyes as they cry out together. Get him! Kill him! But the Black Knight doesn't move. He doesn't flinch. He just stands there, power rolling off him like a storm made flesh. This isn't just a man. This is the curse they were warned about. The weapons master, the harbinger of the end. The world thought it buried him. But the truth, the Black Knight was never gone. He was just waiting to be reborn. The battlefield erupts in chaos. Dust and smoke coil into the blood-red sky as the Black Knight steps forward. His flail, alive and laughing, spinning in a deadly orbit. Ah! Sarah and her team charge, their last hope burning in their eyes. But this isn't a battle, it's an execution. The knight swings, a blur of molten chains and divine fury. The ground cracks under the weight of his strike. Flail. Again, master. Again. The flail howls for blood, its voice echoing like thunder across Hell's Gates. The knight obeys. Whoom! Clang! Each hit sends shockwaves through the air. Each hit breaks something inside them. Sarah stumbles, clutching her staff, face streaked with tears and dust. She looks up into the glowing eyes of death itself. Black Knight, low metallic growl. You cannot win. The words hit harder than his weapon. Chains lash around her arm. Tight, suffocating, unbreakable. Her knees buckle, but her voice cuts through the storm. Stop! For the first time, the knight hesitates. The silence that follows is heavier than any blow. The fire flickers, the smoke clears, and in that one trembling second, it's no longer about victory. It's about mercy. The veil between life and power tears open once again. From the swirling violet storm, she steps forth, eyes burning, voice dripping venom. She belongs to me. The words echo through the void. The other two mean nothing. Across the mist, Sarah stands, broken, bloodied, defiant. Her breath trembles as her sister's shadow looms closer. Well, sister, the hooded figure sneers. You purge me along last? Are you happy now? Sarah stumbles back, her voice cracking. Let me go. We will. Her sister hisses, dark magic swirling between her palms. But first, violet light blossoms from her hand, pulsing, alive, and hungry. Since you don't have me inside of you anymore, the light grows stronger, spiraling, searing. Let it, give you something else. A scream cuts through the void. Ah! Sarah is hurled through the air, blood spraying, eyes wide with agony. Her body hits the ground with a sickening thud. Her fate uncertain. The blue witch turns, her lips curling into a cruel smile. She raises her hand once more, voice soft as death itself. Come, mine, from the darkness, he answers. But she doesn't respond. Her breath is shallow, her eyes unfocused. Something inside her is gone. What did that witch do to her? Ka, shaking, whispering, I don't know. The air feels heavier. Magic hums like a dying heartbeat. Ka, voice cracking. Gods, what'll he do? Sarah's eyes flicker weak, her lips trembling as she forces out a whisper, barely audible, almost a plea. What do we do? And in that moment, even the strongest heroes realize there are no gods listening. The sea rages beneath a moonless sky. Waves crash like war drums against the hull, each one echoing the same thought pulsing through their hearts. Maybe we can still fix this. Sarah, maybe we can separate Flail from Khalif. Her voice trembles like dying firelight. The others don't respond at first because they know what she's really saying. She's talking about hope, and none of them have much of that left. Ka, firm but gentle, and we can eliminate them that way. That can end this. But her eyes say something else. Fear. Barbarian. Gruffly. You're not doing anything. Not until we get you better. Sarah, barely breathing. Ka. She poisoned me. She wants me to die slowly. Her lips curve into a faint, bitter smile. There is no better. Ka pleading. No, you don't know that. We'll find someone. We'll get to Soren. She'll fix you. Barbarian cutting in. Voice heavy. She's dying, Deadheart. Ka turning, desperate. We have to hurry. Sarah needs help. Deadheart staring into the dark sea. I know, and we'll get to Soren. We'll fight with them. But I fear her eyes narrow, reflecting the storm on the horizon. There's only one way this all ends. The ship sails on through the black, carrying the weight of the world and the sound of breaking hearts. And as the waves swallow their silence, Sarah closes her eyes, her breathing slows. And for the first time, she looks at peace. And Sarah might be getting there sooner than the rest of us. The end. And that is where our story closes. From now, a ship vanishing into the storm, a dying witch whispering her last hopes, and somewhere in the shadows, a cursed knight reborn, ready to bring the world to its knees. Because in this world, there are no heroes without blood on their hands, no magic without a price, and no ending that doesn't demand a sacrifice. Sarah's fight may not be over, her body weak, her magic fading, but her will unbroken. And as long as one spark remains, the war between light and darkness will rage on. So what happens next? Can they save Sarah before the curse consumes her? Can the Black Knight be stopped? Or is this just the beginning of something much dark? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the next chapter of Barbaric. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's your favorite character so far? And what do you think Sarah's fate will be? Until next time, this is your narrator signing off. And remember, in the world of Barbaric, even heroes bleed.